Hey there guys, it's me, Michael V. Well, I just celebrated my 22nd birthday. I got a lot of really cool stuff. For instance, one of the many awesome gifts that my girlfriend got me is this right here. It's a Super Mario DS holder. I know, it seems like the most insanely ridiculous, unnecessary thing in the world, but I've actually had my eye on this for so long. And I always say, what makes the best gifts are the things that you would like to have, but you would never buy for yourself. And this is exactly the kind of thing. I always thought it was really cool. I see it everywhere, and I just always wanted to get one, but I never really would buy it for myself. And I guess she noticed that I was eyeballing it. But even more importantly, more impressively, is her parents actually got me a brand new tripod, which is actually what it's on right now. It's a beautiful thing. My old tripod was just garbage, and this one is really professional. And I'm sure you guys are noticing this thing here. This is a new arcade machine. That's right. It's a third of my collection, probably the last one I'm going to be getting for a long time. I don't really desire to get a fourth one unless, you know, I magically see like a Miss Pac-Man or something, or Mortal Kombat 2 for an insanely good price, but chances are no. This is probably the last one I'm going to be getting for a very long time. And this was actually a gift from my best friend, Pac. I know you guys are probably thinking, oh my god, an arcade machine, that's a huge gift. And it is a huge gift, but I mean, he really didn't spend a whole lot on it. It had a lot of work to be done. At first, the thing wasn't working at all, and I've been working on it for the past couple days, and I finally got the whole thing working. So now I have a completely operational Capcom Bowling machine. So yeah, I'm just going to take you guys through this machine a bit so you guys can kind of see how it works. I already have ordered a new marquee for it. As you can see, this one is empty because when we received it, it looked like this, and there's a big hole in the plexiglass. So I ordered a marquee to size from MameMarquees.com. They're a great place if you want reproduction art, and I also ordered some plexiglass to fit it. It's a bit expensive, but they make really high quality stuff. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys into the back of the machine so that you guys can see all the guts and see what exactly I had to do to get this machine up and running. Alright, here we are in the back of my machines. I've got Sindel over there in all of her sexy glory. The back of the Mortal Kombat machine still open because I was doing a little work on it earlier today. But this is the back of the Capcom Capcom Bowling machine. I keep wanting to call it Let's Go Bowling because one of my favorite arcade games that I used to play was pretty much the exact same game. It was just called Let's Go Bowling. And this is the PCB here for it. Basically, what my issue was when I started it was I would turn on the machine and the screen would turn on and the marquee light would turn on up there. But for some reason my board wasn't getting any power. And so it had to have been my power supply, which is right here. Now this is a new power supply that I got. I actually got it in a very good way. Basically I found out that it had to be the power supply. And so I took my power supply to the technician at my work. He's a really awesome guy, kind of a grumpy dude, but man, he's just a really nice guy once you actually get to know him. I brought my power supply to him, and I said, hey, could you look at it for me, see what's wrong with it? He literally looked at it just like you would look at your nails, like, oh, look at that. And then he threw it in the garbage, and he handed me this one, and he said, look, I fixed it. He has a tendency to do that, but it was really great, so I got a brand spanking new power supply for free, which is just great. He's such a nice guy. He apparently has like 72 of these laying around, and none of the arcade machines are using them. And so yeah, so I plugged it in, and sure enough, that is what was wrong with it, and I got the whole machine working, so that's good. So everything works when it turns on. I'll turn on for you here, and you can see. When I turn it on, see how that little green light's blinking, and that light's green? That means power is getting to the board, and that means that I have the right power going through my power supply. Of course, don't ever touch the tube itself because it will kill you. Control panel here is pretty grimy. I don't have my bezel quite on yet. I actually had to repaint the bezel because it was whoever had this machine before me did some weird thing with paint, and I don't know what they did, but basically they got paint everywhere. And so I'm going to have to take off the plexiglass off here and clean all this stuff. The ball itself, if you listen, has a little bit of a grind to it, so I'm going to deal with that grind in just a bit. And then if I take you down here, this was a big pain. Basically, whoever had this before, my friend got it, didn't have the keys to these locks. So basically I had to sneak back there in that little tiny hole and unscrew the locks from the back. So I got something like this. Now I just keep them in. I can slide them out like that and put them in, and that's just fine with me. Anyways, so at first I couldn't actually play the game. Even once I got the game started, I couldn't play it because I couldn't put credits on it, because Capcom Bowling doesn't have a free play dip switch. It only has a dip switch to change it from an upright cabinet to a cocktail cabinet. But anyways, so once I finally got it in here, I figured out why. Basically, this coin door was so filled with loose change, and it was so jammed, just people kept pushing change in and in and in and in and in and would not leave it alone. And basically I pulled out all this change here. It's about like $7-8 worth of quarters and dimes and nickels, and even one fake quarter, which was really annoying to think that that was in there. So yeah, there's little cosmetic damages everywhere, and this is all just fun stuff to work with. It's actually the perfect third machine for me, because the main machine, which I also ordered a new marquee for this, I'm going to get a MAME, because now that I have an actual Mortal Kombat machine, I just think it's silly having a MAME machine that says Mortal Kombat, because I think it'll be a little weird when I'm playing Street Fighter and I see Mortal Kombat right there. It's just weird. Anyways, so I have a MAME machine, and then I had a completely, pretty much perfect arcade machine here that I had to do almost no work to, just a little cosmetic stuff here or there. And then this machine I actually got to work on in depth, and I'm still working on it, and you guys will see more videos of me working on it later on. But it's really fun working on it. So it's a perfect third machine for me, because it lets me start to understand back up. I'm going to put some paint on the sides. Eventually I'm going to put a new marquee in there. Clean up the control panel. That's the first thing I'm doing. Might as well let you guys see how dirty the control panel is. So let me just get in here. Inside of these control panels are little like briefcase locks, and you just have to undo them. I kind of caught it with my head. But anyways, so yeah, I can pull down this control panel now. There we go. Bam. And there you go. You can see all the guts inside there. Here's the trackball. I'm going to be taking the trackball out to clean that. The buttons, got to take those out and clean those. Which, actually the buttons are soldered on, so I don't know how much deep cleaning I can really get done, but that's okay. I just don't like messing with soldered stuff, because if it comes undone, I just won't be happy. But that's okay, because I don't have any soldering tools. But yeah, as you can see, it's like really dusty in here, and it sucks because I didn't know it was that dusty. I thought I dusted it pretty clean. There's a lot of spider webs and things in here that I just need to clean out. And then, you know, there's just some things I need to sand off and what have you. But yeah, it's going to be a project for the week. And hopefully I'll have the whole thing done pretty quickly. Okay, as I said before, the arcade machine that I recently got had a whole bunch of random paint all over it, and I'm not quite sure why, because none of the paint was really used for the machine. So apparently someone was like painting their house with it. I don't know what they were doing, but they were just messing around. But basically they got a bunch of paint on the bezel. Now this is it's a glass bezel, so I can use my scraper on it, which is cool. I generally prefer plexiglass bezels only because they don't break as often. They are not as clear, but you know, it's just so easy to break glass. But anyways, so I'm just going to basically show you the way you're going to remove paint, or anything just about, off of glass. Basically what you need to do is you need to get one of these. It's a basic scraper. It's a simple tool. You can find it at any hardware shop. It normally comes with spare blades, and basically you just install the blade, and then you come right at the paint or whatever your problem is, and you just start scraping away at it. And just like that, I can get rid of all that paint. So basically I'm going to do this to the whole thing and hopefully get it completely clear of paint.